Hello, everyone. How are you? So, I wanted to come today. We're going to talk, which is, let's just talk. Let's just talk. You're worth so much more than you are actually giving yourself. Um, a lot of times, we have different obstacles, right? We call them obstacles that blocks us from doing what it is that we know we need to do. How many of you can say that there's something that you've been putting off for the longest time? Like you know that this thing has been placed on your heart, God placed it on your heart for you to do. But because you have a specific way that you want it to be done, you have specific materials, machines, lighting that you want to use, or even excuses that you're making. You literally have been postponing it, saying, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have more time. Tomorrow I won't be as tired. And I can tell you a lot of times, you have to understand that the test that's happening is for you to understand that it's really all about you. It's really all about your self worth. It's really all about what you are open to receive from God, what you are open to receive from everything that's around you, which we call the universe. What have you been open to? Or how closed are you mentally? A lot of us, because we are so uninformed, we do not understand how much we are worthy, especially when it comes to advancing in life, or especially when it comes to relationships, or especially when it comes to a house of prayer or a house of worship. We put up with a lot of things because we are in that place where we've not realized who we truly are. We have not put in the healing, or even if we put in the healing, we've limited ourselves. We've limited a lot of um, the progress that we could have made by making excuses because it is safer. For example, I know I should have done this video a while ago, but I just moved to my new place and this is my new studio. I actually have a studio in my place. Um, as the movers were moving my material, my lights, my glam lights, I have two, one broke, the other one, the extension cord is missing. I have not been able to find this extension cord anywhere. So for the longest time, I felt in my heart that I need to go on YouTube and do a live video, especially for women, concerning their self worth. Why is it that we allow a lot of lives, so called setbacks, diminish our self worth? Today, I decided, you know what? I don't have my lights. I've been looking for this thing for all over the place. Someone out there needs to hear this, so I'm going to do it. I was able to speak with a young woman actually. She was one of my clients, and I helped her through a lot that was going on with her personally when it comes to culture, when it comes to who she is here in the States, and a lot of the barriers that she was, dealing with when it came to her personal life. So I got a call the other day, and it was concerning one of her friends. It was a situation that was dire, and she asked me, please, can you please speak with her because you helped me so much with my own personal situation? And I said, sure, no problem. And I started to really speak with her. And it really placed something on my heart where I really want to start doing something for women in general, because I think we as caregivers, as carers, as the woman, we've been placed in a situation by history, by culture, by even our own family, our own parents, where we are told that our worth is in marriage, right? That our worth is in how we allow this particular human being or people to mistreat us. So the mistreatment, right? If we have to have a certain um, flair for taking it, and that's going to make us a good wife, or that's going to make us a good mother, or that's going to make us a good employee, or that's going to make us a good woman, right? Um, and it's time for all of this to really start getting out there, because it seems like there's a culture that is not holding the men accountable. Your wife, if you decide that you're going to get married, first let me speak to the mothers. If you decide that you want your son to get married, I would advise you to raise him to be a good husband. If the husband is in the house with you, I'm going to make you understand one thing. What your son sees in the house with your husband and you, that's what he's going to do with his wife. Even if he tries to get out of it, because that's what the energy that's been around him and that's what's been in his DNA for a while, he's going to reenact you to his wife. He may want to, and whoever he marries, believe it or not, will become you if they're at that space where they are willing to suffer for the sake of having a husband, for the sake. And I see that a lot of women have this thing now. I mean, I'm not speaking against it, but they rather have a husband instead of having a life partner. Two difference. A husband is someone who's occupying space in your house, who you're taking care of, who really, okay, you guys are there. There's minimal amount of emotions connected to each other, but he can say and do whatever he wants to do. And you are basically a servant to him. And you're using him as the prize to make it seem that you're no longer single as a woman. So now every sentence that you're using, my husband, my husband, my husband, right? Instead of using this person's name. Now, when you have someone who's actually your life partner, who's a partner with you, that person has prepared themselves to meet you. That person has prepared themselves, and you also have prepared yourself to be partner with that person. That means your life partner. This is someone that is going to grow with you, you're going to grow with. Neither one of you are perfect, but you know that your hearts have connected. And you know that it has been ordained by God. This is something that is going to be blessed regardless of the ups and downs, and that you have the capacity and the maturity to go through life's hard problems. Now, He, in return, will always uplift you, He will always support you, sow into you, water you, and you will do the same thing for Him. That's what love is. That's what true love is. Um, Yesterday, I was doing a being interviewed in a radio station because I have a book signing coming up on February 10th in Spring Valley. So we're promoting the book signing, and I was asked, what is true love? Like, I was speaking about love, and they were saying, well, what love are you talking about? Are you talking about love between husband and wife? And I said, well, no, because we've not really understood what love between husband and wife is. What we have is flesh between husband and wife. We don't really have the love between husband and wife. A few of us do have that, the nurturing, watering, understanding kind of love, the self-sacrificing kind of love. You're with someone that you know that if they sacrificed for you, you'll understand, oh my goodness, this was a sacrifice that was made for me. You will honor it, and in return, you may or you may not do the same thing, but I would say that you would do the same thing, where you would let them know out of gratitude that, you know what, I know how much what happened, how much you sacrificed for me, and therefore I will return the favor because I love you enough. What you've given, I will replenish in you. So, as women, we have to know that we are the caregivers, right? We are the ones with the wounds. We are the ones who carry emotionally. Men carry too emotionally, but in the home, we have to understand, well, not only in the home, in life, period. A woman has a kind of character, the way that we're built, that we are the nurturers, right? Being the nurturers, we need to be nurtured ourselves. Now, the male has the ability to do well, the proper male has the ability to actually sow into us what it is that we need to give back to them. We're a complete mirror. We will mirror back to our husbands what they are to us. That's why you'll find that a lot of women who've been in situations where the marriage is um, a give and take, where the husband is loving actually the wife, being grateful to the wife for everything that she's done, helping the wife, understanding that she's not a slave, but she is his life partner. She's the blessing that God has given to him, because even the scriptures say, Proverbs 31, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Now, he who finds a wife, not someone who is occupying space because you want people to see that you have a beautiful woman next to you, or you want people to say, oh, you have a beautiful wife. That's it. But the human being who actually occupies the office of wife, that means you respect her as the head, as you are the head, right? Decisions are made together respectfully. So, women, I want to speak to you about this because we find ourselves in situations where we are not respected, we are not valued, we are disrespected, we are cursed at, we are hit. But because, number one, there's no financial stability on our side, or we think that there's no financial stability, we doubt that God will take care of us. We end up sticking in these situations that are detrimental to us, right? We keep saying, well, God will save me. We keep saying, maybe I put myself. A lot of us, we lose ourselves. We could have been, before we met this person, we could have been outgoing. We could have been eccentric. We could have been like, our master's degree. We're doing it in this field, which is what is attracted. It's very attractive to men, especially powerful men. They love that. But most of these men don't know how to handle women who are like that, because women who are like that are extremely independent, outspoken, right? And the same thing with men who are like that. Women, if you're listening. So let's build on who we truly are and understand that who you were before you married has to continue. As a matter of fact, this person has to grow. When you're in the right relationship, this person will grow into a better version of you. If you are in a relationship where you are literally like you don't even recognize yourself anymore, you're wondering, well, where am I? There's a problem there. That means your energy is being sucked up by this person and he's not giving it back to you. Which is why half of the time you find that women look 50 years older than their husbands when they're actually 10 or 20 years younger than they are. So, women, let's start really. I mean, I know it is important to have that partnership, right? So that you can grow, you can build a life together. But I really want to speak to you women out there to really help you understand that the way that you were single, or you are single right now, and you are doing it, you are traveling, you are taking the classes, even if you're a single mom, it is difficult being a single mother, but look at what you're doing. You're going to school, you are building your home, you're trying to be the best for your children. I would say that even, it's time for us to really start taking a pause. And before we run ahead because of time, because of age, because of what society may think, it's really time that we start celebrating and not feeling guilty that we're celebrating who we are as women. And I'm not talking about, the women's movement where it's completely out of control. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually being a feminine woman, but understanding that your value is not in who you marry or how much money he makes. Your value is in who you are and who you're becoming and who he is going to help you grow to be. And you also, your value should be in who you're going to help him grow to be, so that when you do procreate, there's healthy procreation and there's healthy boundaries, healthy growth for you. So it is time that we understand, spiritually speaking, who we are as the birth givers, right? It is time that we honor ourselves and that we understand that our partner will be drawn to us, but we also must know who we are is who we attract, right? You can try to run away as much as you want. I'm not going to marry my father, or I'm not going to marry my mother, right? You know, the men, you're going to end up marrying them because the reason why you're saying you're not marrying someone like them is the trauma that they've caused you. And you've not actually dealt with this trauma. First, deal with the trauma. First, anchor yourself in the truth. Anchor yourself and deal with a lot of the misconceptions that you are going through when it comes to who you are, how you should react to when someone mistreats you at work, at home. Who are you? What's your personality? Who are you going to become as a wife? Do you have that maturity? And if you're at that point where you are basically, if you're a wife or a husband and you're letting this person run you because you basically they direct anything and everything you do, and for the sake of being married and for the sake of the marriage, because you believe, that, excuse me, yeah, that God does bless marriages, but it has to be a marriage that He blesses, that He blessed, a lot. So if you believe that that is what's going to make the marriage healthy, you're deceiving yourself. You're only giving this person more. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a turn off for people because then they don't see that, wait, where's the person that I married? And it's like a catch 22 because if you become the person that they marry, right? Um, they can basically, if they're not at that state to understand that marriage is a growing process, it's not, oh, I've arrived. It's a growing process together. You're continuing your life, but now you're continuing it with a partner. This is why you cannot be unequally yoked, right? This is why, in any way, unequally yoked with an unbeliever according to what you believe in, your main core, your faith. But not only that, unequally yoked with your standards, with your education, um, your surroundings, what you're used to. This is going to sound harsh, but I've learned from this. You can be with someone who will treat you right, who will, when I say treat you right, like they're nice before they get married. Um, and they do the nicest things, but then you start seeing that there are some things, like if you go to a restaurant, they don't know what certain things are, or there are certain restaurants that, well, there are certain places they call restaurants when they're not restaurants, they're actually, um, like Fridays, it's not a restaurant. um, they don't know much about traveling. They've only stayed in one place while you've traveled. They don't know much about the stock market when you've invested in the stock market. They don't know much about having conversations in the workplace with the opposite sex because they themselves, their ability to work has only been um, in that particular standard where it's only been minimum wage. But when you are a salaried worker, there are different responsibilities that are placed on you, male or female. So there are different people, there are different conversations, there are different places that you must go, and you must bring your partner with you. So a lot of you may be saying that, you are um, embarrassed by your partner, and yet you will marry that partner. And I think it's an injustice for you to be with anybody that you are embarrassed by. Like you cannot bring them somewhere, or if wherever you are, they're having a conversation and you're telling them to be quiet because you know that they really are not understanding what's being conversed, or the language that they're going to use is not academically up to par. I think you should have enough respect to leave that person alone because it is a disrespect that you're doing to them. as you're treating them not as your partner, not as someone who you respect. Because if you're going to make this person your partner, if you're going to live with this person, you should respect them enough that you can take them anywhere, no matter how well they're well spoken, no matter how much money they have or don't have. You should be able to be comfortable enough to be present with this person, to say this is my partner or this is my husband, without having to change them. They should already be that for you. And I'm not going to believe any other way, because I have lived by it. I've allowed other people to make me think that, for me to be holy or for me to be a good person, I have to, it's not really lower my standards. I have to basically, because if I say lower my standards, that's giving people, like, you're higher than the other person. No, that basically I have to be with someone who I'm not equally yoked with. Been there, done that. It was a disaster. Thank God for his mercy that a lot of damages were not done. And I'm not the type of person, um, that would really ridicule someone. But women, I wanted to really come on, and this is for the longest time, um, to do something, to speak about something that will get your minds thinking, right? That is what you see when you're dating, is what you're going to see after you get married. And what you see when you're dating is a direct mirror of what you're lacking. So if you need to be in a healthy relationship, you've got to go the spiritual route. You've got to go the route that is less traveled, right? You've got to go and say, you know what? Not my will, but your will, God, be done. And God will put you in a place of waiting where you're going to have to deal with yourself first. Get to know who you are, and get to know who you are in a relationship with God first. Then, when you are ready, He will bring, as a matter of fact, as He's doing that to you, with you, He's going to do that with your partner, because He has a purpose for you, both on this earth. So when the time is right, Isaiah 60:23 or 22 says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So why don't we be more patient, ladies? Let's be more patient and know that when the time is right, God will make it happen. But in the meantime, while you're in the waiting, do not lower your standards. When I say that, I don't mean, um, dark skin, light skin kind of nonsense. I mean morality, right? Standards. That's what I mean. And I also mean you get yourself to a place of spiritual growth and spiritual worth, and being anchored and strong in who you are, honoring yourself as a woman, right? And being patient, and know that you are worth what you want. As a matter of fact, it's so much better because you can say to God, well, this is what I want. And then you end the prayer, not my will, but give me what is for my highest good. And you'll be blown away with what He's going to give to you. Perfect example, my new place. I requested 3 bedrooms, right? And I just said, okay, Lord, I want space. I know I want space. And I literally got to a point where I just stopped and said, you know what? I'm just going to ask what I want. And because I wanted to have a studio, I wanted to have a space where I can have my desk, have my prayer place, my space where I can do my exercise, where I can meditate, um, and literally transform the entire place into a studio. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to actually really show you guys. It's still under construction. So, see my desk over here. I'm still constructing. It's just a little, you know. Oh, yeah. So this is my studio. But I also ended the prayer with, not my will, but may you give me something that will be for my highest good, not my will, but your will be done. And I got something that is beyond what I expected. So, bye. Until next time, have a great one.